Hey guys! Today I'm going to be doing a video on the books I read all the way back in June. I'm so behind on these videos. I only read 4 books in June, so I thought I would include sort of my thoughts on the book I'm reading right now and let you guys know how much I love it so far and just tell you what it's about a little bit. I'm probably going to do a review, but I'd love to talk about it because I'm loving it so much right now. Some were pretty good, some weren't, so this will be interesting because probably the worst book I read this year, yeah, it was in this month, and I'll let you guys know about that one. Alright, so the first book I read in June was Born at Midnight by C.C. Hunter, and I was really excited to read this because I'm so into the whole supernatural theme and genre within YA. I was even more excited to read this because it sounded like there was great romance with it. And there was great romance, I guess, but I found the love triangle to be really annoying. And I don't really like love triangles when there's a girl who can't decide which boy to choose and it keeps going back and forth.
But what about him? But I also like him. But look at him. But look at him. Look at, like, back and forth.
Anyway, and I didn't like the second half as much as I loved the first half, so that's another reason as well. Our main character is Kylie Galen, and she's not one to get in trouble, but one night everything goes wrong and she's at the wrong moment at the wrong time, and the police come and crash the party that she's at. Her parents are furious at her. You know, she didn't drink at this party, she had a few sips of beer, but her parents are very angry with her, and they start to think that maybe Kylie is a troubled teenager. One weird thing has been happening. She's been seeing this man kind of pop up here and there, and she feels like he's following her, but she doesn't know who he is. Before you know it, Kylie's mom has decided to send her to a troubled camp for teens, and this camp is at a place called Shadow Falls. She discovers that the kids who go to this camp aren't just troubled, they are more than that. She learns that everyone at the camp has supernatural abilities. They are fae, they are vampires, they are werewolves, there are shapeshifters, and there's witches. Kylie feels even more out of place because she thinks that she doesn't have these powers. What is she doing here? She doesn't know who she is. It turns out that no one can discover and no one can read her abilities. She's like a blank card. So also we get into the romance part of it. There's a what's his name? Yes, Derek is a half-fae who's very sweet and charming and very caring. And then there is Lucas, who is like the hot werewolf who has a mysterious past with Kylie. So she has Derek, she has Lucas, she has this new problem with going to the camp. She doesn't know who she is, and then she has 2 best friends who she meets. One's a vampire and one is a witch. I'd still recommend it because the characters are really cool and the whole idea of it is great, entertaining, and just really fun to read. And I feel like you guys will enjoy it too. It wasn't the greatest, but it wasn't bad either. I'm really excited for the second one. Alright, so book number 2 is Love, Inc. by Yvonne Collins and Sandy Rideout, and I absolutely loved this book. It was like the perfect contemporary romance-y kind of young chick-lit book. The relationships and the friendships and the whole idea of it was just great, entertaining, funny, and just overall awesome. Our main character is Zara, and after her parents' divorce, she's kind of thrown into counseling after your parents' divorce to help fix her. So this group counseling is a time for the kids to talk to each other about their lives and their parents and their families, and Zara doesn't feel like she belongs here because she has a great boyfriend. She doesn't feel like she needs to be counseled on it and given therapy. But one thing leads to another, and she meets 2 other girls in the group counseling. Their names are Callie and Sid, and aside from the fact that all of their parents divorced, they have something else in common. One boy has been dating all 3 of them, except he's been giving them false names. He's only given his true name to Sid, but he's given fake names to Zara and Callie. So this guy has been dating all 3 of them and 3-timing them pretty much, and they've been 3-timed big time. Sarah can't believe that she was being used and cheated on, and she can't believe that he would do that to her. She felt she had a serious relationship. Sid and him knew each other for a very long time, and she takes it the worst because of their past and their relationship. They decide that, you know, this isn't over yet. We have to get payback. So they plan some revenge, and they actually end up doing it. And it's such a success that people reach out to the 3 girls to get them to plan some revenge on their exes and their ex-girlfriends or their ex-boyfriends. It turns into their company called Love Inc. and their relationships develop and their friendship develops, and it's a story of their company, what they do, and how it becomes such a success, and some problems along the way, and it's just a great novel that I think you guys should read because it was so much fun. So the third book I read in June was F.A.B by Julia Karr, and this is probably the worst book I read this year so far. I just didn't like it. I thought it was bland and boring and annoying at times, and I didn't really like the character, and the whole concept's just weird. You know it's not a good book when you can't really remember what happens, like it just kind of flies by you and you're not absorbing it, and you're not really getting attached to the characters or the plot, and you're not really immersing yourself in it like a good book will allow you to do. I just didn't like it. Didn't connect with the main character. I thought the love interest was too abrupt and it came in too fast. Okay, so our main character is Nina, and she lives in this very strange and kind of dystopian world. Once girls turn 16, they get a tattoo on their wrist with the Roman numerals that represent 16, XVI. Tattoo is the signal to boys and the signal to the world that you're 16. A lot of girls can't wait to be 16. It's like a new life for them. It's like once they're 16, they can do anything they want and then become whatever and whatever. And Nina's not looking forward to this. She finds it very almost like a scary chapter. She doesn't look forward to it. Something happens and it changes everything she's ever known. She's left to discover what her past holds, what her family's past holds, and what's been kept from her, and she kind of has to discover people who are linked to her family in order to solve this mystery. So the boy that is like the love interest sort of element is kind of like the key to her past, and it kind of links from him to the past. I thought that the mystery was good that was incorporated with Nina and her past. I didn't really respond to the characters. I didn't respond to the plot. Like, I wasn't excited to read it. I wasn't upset at times. I wasn't sad. I wasn't happy. I was just like numb. And I found that very difficult because that's how you love a book. It's you connect with the characters, you connect with the setting, you connect with the plot, and I just didn't do any of that. It was really hard for me to read it. I kind of struggled. I was just so anxious to finish it. I don't know if you guys will like it. Maybe you will. Some of you probably loved it, but I just wasn't a fan. It was decent at times, but the decent parts didn't outweigh the not so decent parts. So yeah, that's that, and I'll go on to the next book. Alright, so I couldn't finish filming yesterday, so I had to finish today. That's why it seems maybe different. I'm wearing different clothes and stuff. Okay, so the fourth book I read in June was Blood Red Road by Moira, and I did a review on this, so I'm not going to go into too much detail. So if you want to know an in-depth synopsis, I'd check out my review. And yeah, but I'll tell you a little bit what it's about and why I loved it so much for those of you who haven't seen my review or heard me talk about it. So this book follows a girl named Saba, and she lives in this dystopian world with her younger sister, her twin brother, and her father. Her mother passed away, giving birth to her youngest sister. She's very close with her twin brother, and pretty much she sees him as the better half of her and the better person. They live in this dystopian world where everything is barren. There's lots of sand, and the land is ravaged by sandstorms. One day a sandstorm kind of starts. Moments later, Saba realizes that these men took her twin brother Lou. She has to find her twin brother. She meets people along the way. So that is the quick plot of the story. Definitely recommend it. Full of action and thrilling suspense. It's great. I was on the edge of my seat. You're gonna have to get used to the author's use of dialogue and slang because it is very different. It's seriously an amazing book, and I think all of you should read it. So I said I would tell you guys about the book I'm reading right now and how much I love it. And that book is Daughter of Smoke and Bone by Laini Taylor. There's so many fantasy elements entwined with it that I love it so much right now. Seriously, the fantasy is the best I've ever read. And writing is like nothing I've ever come across, and I just feel like it's one of the best, if not the best, fantasy books I've ever read. I fell in love with it. I fell in love with the character, the main character, Karoo, and I fell in love with everyone around her and how brave and strong she is and what she has to overcome. So I'm going to give a synopsis in my review, which will probably be up once I finish it, but I just wanted to tell you guys how much I'm loving this book and what I'm reading now. Alright guys, so thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope this helped you with your reading recommendations or anything like that. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon.